Hello and welcome to Big Dumb Movie, where we talk about a different Big Dumb movie every episode. I'm your host, Corey, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Alan.
Hello.
And Steve.
Yo.
How you guys doing tonight?
I'm good. It's pretty chilly Friday night, but I'm good.
Chilling on a chilly evening.
It's like a cold 60 degrees outside.
Yeah.
California winters.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
It actually rained for like a day and a half.
I know, interesting, right?
Right? Yeah, I don't know what that means. Is it an omen? How does this happen?
I saw the car wash guy at work today, and he was there till like 3 o'clock. He was there late. And I'm like, didn't it rain the other day?
Yeah,
And the car wash
wants
guy's
that
working late?
Quick shift, yeah.
The last time he showed up after the rains, too. Yeah. Right after it rained, he was there the next day.
That wouldn't. Isn't that... It rained. Why would you get your car washed?
I don't know, man. We're here to talk about Space Jam, goddammit.
Right, Space Jam.
The car wash guy at work. This guy. Do you think the car wash guy has seen Space Jam?
Eddie? I doubt Eddie has seen Space Jam.
Do you think he listens to this podcast?
If he does, shout out to Eddie.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Number one fan, Eddie.
Best car wash guy ever.
Yeah, he's pretty great. They do a good job. All right, so Space Jam. Space Jam is the movie we watched, and it is the movie we're here to talk about. It was released in 1996. I verified the year.
Okay.
This is going to be a thing every episode now.
Right.
It was directed by a guy called Joe Pitka. Did you guys look into him at all? Are you familiar with his work?
I know his name. I don't remember anything else about his career, though.
Alan?
I'm not familiar with that name.
No?
No.
Well, he mostly or exclusively directs music videos.
Okay.
Specifically, it seems like Michael Jackson music videos. Yeah, so we did like the Free Willy one. I don't know. The 80s rock and roll one.
Oh, wow.
Some other ones.
It's a pretty good resume.
Yeah.
Right?
Just interspersed Michael Jackson videos.
Yeah.
He did some stuff. Whatever.
Yeah. So he did this as well. Oh, yeah, in commercials. I'm pretty sure he did some commercials.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if he actually did the Michael Jordan Looney Tunes commercials that came out before Space Jam.
Yeah.
But those are a thing. That's kind of what prompted this movie.
Yeah.
Those commercials.
That's what I always read, was those commercials got popular, and they were like, well, let's people want this, let's turn it into a movie. You know, let's sell some
Pretty
tickets.
classic marketing right
Right.
there, 101.
Right?
Oh, let's just make a movie out of it.
We think people will pay for this, so.
Oh, so let's make a movie. And now we have Space Jam.
I mean, yeah, Space Jam made a lot of money. People definitely paid for it.
Oh, yeah.
And those commercials I never saw, actually, but they were supposed to be like a big deal. I must have been too young, but
Yeah.
apparently one of them aired at like the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Wow, I'd forgotten about it. But yeah, they were like, everyone knew those ads at the time they were airing, and Marvin the Martian was in them, and it was a whole to-do.
Yeah. What would be like the equivalent today, like the current like big commercial? Is there a thing?
God, I mean, I think the problem now is there's so many people. I don't hear about that kind of thing as much. I think so many more people are watching TV on Netflix and Hulu
And
and
the
through
internet.
streaming.
Yeah,
and
TV's
HBO
not
Go
as
and,
big
like,
as it.
What's the most popular YouTube ad right now?
Oh yeah,
the most popular YouTube ad?
right.
So, you know, people don't like commercials. People really don't like ads
No,
online.
in fact, getting an
I
ad
hate
ahead of a
ads.
YouTube video is like a 50-50 shot that I'm just going to not watch the video. Like,
Wow.
if I see an ad come on first, if I'm not really interested in what's coming after, I'll just be like, fuck this, I'm not sitting through the ad.
The ad makes me not want the product.
Right? Because we're going to say this and then try to put ads on these videos. So.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to Nike,
Right?
Space Jam.
Someone give us an endorsement deal so we don't need ads.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd be really lucky if that happened. I don't predict it happening, but
No,
maybe.
no, neither do I. Right?
Shout out to Warner Brothers.
Right? What?
Yeah, they're not going to be happy after hearing this, I don't
No,
think.
no, I don't think I have a single positive thing really to say about this film. So,
I have some okay things to say.
right, well, that's good. One of the three of us has some okay things to say.
That's good overall.
Yeah, there might be a kind word later, but yeah.
That's
Look,
the most
it's-
that's going to happen.
It's a D+, you know, if that makes you feel any better about it.
So we got Joe Pitka. He was the director. Ivan Reitman was a producer. You guys know that name? I'm sure you do.
Oh, God, yeah. I don't understand why he would have been involved with Space Jam, but whatever.
I don't know that name. Who
You know-
was he, Steve?
Reitman was a producer. He also did the Ghostbusters films and
So-
a ton of other stuff.
Exactly. He did like Ghostbusters. That was like the big one, and 2. He also produced. I wrote a couple things down here. Baywatch. You guys remember that movie?
God,
Came out last year.
I did not know that.
Oh, the one with The Rock and Zac Efron?
Yes.
Poor Ivan Reitman. Did you
I
blow
didn't
all
see
your
it, but
money,
it was
Ivan
bad.
Reitman? Like,
Also, Junior. Have you guys ever heard of the
the
movie
one where
Junior?
Arnold Schwarzenegger gets pregnant?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Very progressive film.
Yeah.
Disturbia.
Yeah, that was a remake of Rear Window with Shia LaBeouf in it.
Yeah.
Yep. And like you said, Ghostbusters, but also 2016's Ghostbusters as well. So he's done more harm than good.
Someone's going to hear this and accuse me of being like a massive misogynist. It was just a bad movie. Can't it just be a bad movie? Why
No,
does
it
it have
has
to be like a
females in it. It's
political
'cause you
thing?
hate
No, we're going to
females.
do an episode on that movie. I hate it.
Right? Like, it didn't have anything to do with the fact that the cast was all female. It was just bad.
You have clearly caught some flack for this already.
Yes, I have.
You're
Absolutely.
super defensive.
Right? I'm going into this with my fists up.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like-
you know,
I'm not a misogynist.
someone's
I
gonna
swear.
complain. I mean, that's what the internet does, right?
Right?
They complain about everything now.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
man.
sure do. So let's talk to you
Back
first,
to
Alan.
Space Jam.
Yeah, Space Jam. What's your experience with it, Alan? Do you have any memories? What was your exposure?
Not a lot. I remember as a kid having it on VHS, but no, did I have, my friend had it. I remember it on VHS, and I remember watching it like once, but I didn't really see the whole movie until the other day.
Hmm.
So I knew of it, and I know I've seen scenes, and I knew it existed, and the website's still up somehow.
Yes.
That's a
So if
great
you go to
point.
spacejam.com, it will redirect you to a Warner Brothers archived website wherein you can see the original Space Jam website, and it just looks like shit. It looks like the first website you've ever been to. It looks like that, like back in the 90s.
Yeah, because it was designed at that time, and they
Yeah.
left it basically untouched. I'm surprised it even works on modern browsers.
Some solid web design, man.
Yeah, so that website still exists, and I knew of the movie, and like I said, I remember seeing parts of it, but I never watched the whole thing.
Steve?
God, my parents, God love them, for some strange reason, took my brother and I to see this in a theater when it came out. Like, I remember exactly where we saw it, and I cannot believe they sat all the way through it without, like, I mean, my mother to this day will mention it in an unfavorable way to me every once in a while. I was like, you remember seeing Space Jam? You know? But, yeah. And my memory of seeing it in the theater, I would have been 13, was that it was more or less entertaining. I don't remember disliking it at the time. I don't remember loving it. I think my brother, who's 4 years younger, liked it a little more than I did. But man, it did not play well in retrospect. I don't think, on all honesty, I think this might be the third time I've ever seen the film. I think the second time was on home video, like a year and a half after it came out. I don't think I've seen it since then. That would have been late '97. So.
Well, my childhood memories consist of me playing with action figures and Space Jam being on in the background. I saw Space Jam many, many times in my life,
Right.
to the point where like I was able to quote it as we were watching it subconsciously.
It's right. You knew the dialogue. That was
Yeah.
impressive.
I think I saw this in theaters. I must have been 10 when it came out, and I liked it as a kid too. I thought it was pretty good, but my opinions of things as a kid was always like, I see something, I'm like, yeah, it was pretty good. As a kid, I remember I liked the movie The Fisher King.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen that as an adult, but I was really young. I must have been like 6, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like, that's just how I was about any movie. I never saw a movie and I was like, that was bad.
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, it's pretty good. And Space Jam was right in that category. We had a lot of the Space Jam toys in my house as a kid,
Oh, nice.
but we just had the shitty Space. We had the bad guys and the Danny DeVito guy.
What was Danny DeVito's, the character's name?
I don't know. Let's just
Okay,
call him
look it
Danny
up.
DeVito guy.
He had an actual name, though, in the movie.
Yeah, he had a name. It was like Frankfurt or something. That's wrong, but it's something close to that. So you guys want to get right into it?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you remember how this movie opens, Alan?
Yes, I do, but real quick, it's Mr. Swackhammer.
Oh, well, I was way off.
Yeah,
Right.
Swackhammer. Okay, yeah, so the beginning of this movie, how does it start? It starts off with that montage. Doesn't it start with the whole The
Right
Michael
before a
Jordan
montage, it shows like young Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, it shows him playing basketball, and it's supposed to be late, and he's outside shooting hoops by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his dad comes out like, "What are you doing out here playing basketball?"
He's like, I'm going to be a basketball star someday. And his dad's like, you're fucking crazy, kid. Get in the fucking house. Little did he know.
And then that's when they play the "I Believe I Can Fly" song.
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly.
I think I Believe I Can Fly comes later.
Doesn't it come in the beginning? I'm pretty sure they play it like in the beginning.
Fuck, I don't know. You might be right.
Okay, anyways.
Maybe.
So yeah, they show the young Michael Jordan and his dad, and he has like big dreams, like he's gonna be a basketball star. And then that's when they cut into the montage.
Yeah, the longest montage I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's like over 5 minutes, and it's just a montage of Michael Jordan.
It's so much filler. This movie is so short, and you could tell they needed to pad it out.
They named off like every character in the beginning with the credits, so they could have an excuse to play Michael Jordan dunking.
Yeah, it's like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, starring like every Looney Tune. They just name them off.
Yeah, they even named every Looney Tune character just
Yeah.
to give them more time to show Michael Jordan dunking a basketball.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being in a meeting like that where they're like, guys, you got to get it to 82 minutes or it's going to go straight to home video. And do so whatever. Make 5-minute credit sequence there.
Just name off all the characters. That's 5
Make
minutes.
it work.
Yeah.
Make it work.
So yeah, it starts off with this long montage, which is again is basically just Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So we get this long montage of his career, and then it shows like Michael Jordan at a press conference, and he decides he's going to retire and play baseball. Right? So that's actually semi-realistic to his life. You guys remember when Michael Jordan retired and started playing baseball?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say that he actually did that, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, 93
Space
to
Jam
95.
is based on a true story.
He's in
This is all real.
an amusement park in space.
The film is actually sometimes referred to as an alternate reality version of Michael Jordan's time between leaving and going back to the NBA.
He just got lost in the Space Jam.
Right.
His unexplained absence.
I mean, that would be nice. The real story is quite different.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you guys know anything about that?
I don't recall a ton aside from that he retired to go play and did not perform all that well and ended up going back to the NBA in 95.
He went back in 95 to the NBA?
I believe.
No, I
think
thought that's when
correct.
he retired.
I think he retired in.
No, he retired in 95.
I thought it was
and
93
then
to
I think
95 that he was out of the NBA.
It was 95 he retired, and he went back in 2003?
No.
No,
He
no,
was
no.
not out of the NBA anywhere near that long.
No, you're right.
No.
Yeah, I think you're right, Steve. I think it's closer to that anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe not exact, but yeah,
Okay,
around
let's
then.
look it up. Jamie, pull that up.
Let's get our guy on it. So when Michael Jordan retired from the NBA, it was around the time that his dad died.
Yeah.
Do you guys know the story about any of that?
I don't.
So his dad actually was murdered.
Mm.
Yeah, his dad went missing for a while, and they found out that some guys stole his car and killed him
Yeah.
Where did this happen?
in the 90s.
I mean, but like where? What?
It happened, I think, in North Carolina or
okay.
somewhere near there.
Okay.
But yeah, unfortunately, his dad was killed, and a little bit later on, Michael Jordan retired and started playing baseball. And I think Phil Jackson was quoted as saying, Michael Jordan's playing baseball now, which Michael Jordan's dad always dreamed of being a pro baseball player. Yeah. So it seemed like to Phil that Michael Jordan was kind of trying to live his father's dream.
Right.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan didn't actually play pro baseball. He ended up playing for like a prospects league.
Yeah.
So he wasn't actually in the pros. He wasn't actually good enough to be in the pros.
Right.
Like he was, they said he worked really hard and he was a good athlete, but he wasn't like that great of a baseball player.
I mean, I guess there's very few exceptions, but you'd have to be like almost a freak at that point because yeah, even if you're an amazing athlete, which is crazy in itself, you can't just switch to another game.
Bo Jackson, though. Bo Jackson.
Yeah, okay. See,
that
okay.
dude was a monster. He could do both.
Yeah,
football
that guy.
and baseball.
But
I guess there has to be one
There
exception.
has to be
Yeah,
one,
exactly.
Yeah. And oh god, who else?
Because,
There was one other player who did that. I can't believe I'm blanking on who it was, but there was one other player who managed to play in both leagues.
Okay, two exceptions.
Yeah.
Even if you're super athletic, there's just stuff you have to learn from playing that sport. Like you could be the greatest athlete ever, but you have to have the experience, or you just have to be.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I totally agree. So, I mean, things didn't work out too well, and he went back to basketball. And it would be nice if Space Jam was that other timeline, because for him, I mean, it's really sad that the way his dad died and stuff. But anyway, let's get back into it. So he decides to play baseball, and it introduces us to Space Danny DeVito, who runs a terribly animated space amusement park called Moron Mountain.
Mr. Swackhammer?
Yeah, Space Danny DeVito, goddammit.
Space DeVito?
Yeah, Space DeVito. The animation in it is really hit and miss for me. The amusement park was a good example of that, because they mixed animation styles in this movie.
Yeah.
So sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't look good. But that's kind of just a product of its time. I'd say overall, for the most part, the animation in Space Jam is pretty good.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things that look a little wonky in the amusement park.
I enjoyed the intro to the amusement park because it looked like a DVD menu from like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
In fact, you played the DVD, and it looked like the DVD menu.
Yeah.
It was like they just cut a
Welcome
DVD
to
menu
DVD menu land.
It's like when they show the intro and it's cutting different scenes and going through different parts, and it just looked like a DVD menu.
Yeah. It's like where you just like wait in line, because the DVD menu is just waiting for the menu to stop so you can fucking press play or whatever.
Oh God.
So that was pretty great.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us, Steve, what Danny DeVito is scheming up?
Well, Danny DeVito's upset that business is not as good as he was hoping to be, so he would like to come up with a new attraction for Moron Mountain.
And what fantastical ride does he want to get at his amusement park that has rides?
Well, I believe it's I only remember him. It's like a freak show idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
He just wants the Looney Tunes to be there.
Yeah. He sees he sees the Looney Tunes on a monitor for some reason. He's got a bank of monitors like in his office, and one of them has the Looney Tunes on.
Yeah.
No explanation as to why, or why they'd have any context for the Looney Tunes in Moron Mountain. But he sees them on the TV and decides he wants those characters to basically just come perform at Moron Mountain in perpetuity for eternity to attract customers.
Yeah. Like slavery.
Right? Yeah, basically. It's kind of like a performance slave, you know?
Okay, we need something.
My bad.
We need something nutty.
Nutty.
Something wacky.
Wacky.
We need something. We need something.
Looney? Oops. Looney. Thank you.
Looney? Looney! Yes, now you're talking. Looney, that's it. That's the word I was looking for. Looney. Get the Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
Bring them here.
Sir.
I'm gonna shove my fist right into your ass, hard and fast. Not in a sexual way, in a I am pissed off at you way.
Well, the Looney Tunes are really big in space.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I had no idea there was such a market for Looney Tunes on these distant planets.
Oh, yeah.
Space Looney Tunes.
Space Looney Tunes, right? Ugh. Elmer Fudd's huge on Jupiter.
Yeah. Is it Jupiter?
Right. I don't know. I have no idea.
So then we go back to Michael Jordan playing baseball, and it's funny that he has kind of a sense of humor about his baseball skills, because in the movie he's not very good too. Like, he has a low batting average, and you know it introduces him at bat, and the catcher is like buddying up with him because
he's telling him the pitches.
Yeah, he's telling him the pitches because he gave him like a signed basketball or something for the guy's kids. According to Michael Jordan, that actually happened in real life, and he still
really?
struck out too. Poor guy. All right, so during
this is where,
you go ahead.
I was gonna say, isn't this where we're introduced to Wayne Knight?
Yeah, this is.
Yeah. So, what's his character's name in the movie?
I just call him Wayne Knight in my notes, so.
His name is Stan.
Stan would have been easier to
okay.
wite, but I literally wrote out Wayne Knight in my notes.
Oh, God. Also would have accepted Newman. You know what? I can never remember what his character's name is in Jurassic Park until I'm watching the movie. Like,
hell yeah. Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight.
Yeah.
Nedry. Dennis Nedry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. There you go.
Wayne Knight shows up to Michael Jordan. He's assigned to Michael Jordan by the whatever minor league baseball team manager. He shows up and he says, "Hello, Michael."
He falls into the dugout.
Yeah.
He like starts hanging over, and then he falls like into the dugout, but he drops like a good like 8 feet under concrete, and he just gets up like, oh hey,
he would have broke his neck for sure.
Yeah, he would have hurt himself for sure.
They really go out of the way to show how bumbling this fucking guy is.
He's a grown adult man, but he's like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
He falls in like 8 feet into the dugout like on solid concrete.
How does this person maintain a job as the
Where's
owner,
security?
manager, assistant of a baseball team? Like, you can't even manage walking into the dugout.
He falls into the dugout.
Yeah.
Where's security?
Who falls into a dugout?
Wayne Knight does.
It's because he leans over and he's like, "Hey, Michael." He falls in and it looks like he could have broken his neck. And
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Jordan just looks completely annoyed. He's like, "Oh, I don't like this guy already." Yeah, he's not like, "How did you survive?" He's like, "Go away." He doesn't say that. He's really nice to him, but you can tell he doesn't like him really.
Well, because they make his character just completely terrible.
Completely annoying, yeah. So Michael Jordan goes home, and the only reason I wrote down this scene is because I really like the part when they announce what they're having for dinner. Do you remember?
I remember that, but backtrack like a couple minutes there.
Sure.
I like the scene where he gets attacked or his bulldog, like tackles him.
Oh yeah, as
Michael
soon as he
Jordan-
gets home.
Yeah, Michael Jordan falls over and he's like, "Oh no!" and the dog starts licking him, but it's like a 20-pound bulldog.
Yeah, the dog completely pummels him.
Michael Jordan is like, how tall is he?
6'4" or whatever he is. Like, yeah.
Super athlete. He's playing 2 sports.
Yeah.
He gets tackled by a bulldog.
Right. And the dog starts like licking his face ferociously.
And he's like helpless. He's like, he can't get up.
He
He's
can't get
like,
up.
"Oh,
He can't
no."
get it off of him. He's got to have his wife help him.
What's disgusting is he gets up and his wife comes home and his wife kisses him on the mouth and she goes, "Ew," and she like wipes spit off her face and he goes, "That's your dog." So like she just kissed the dog slobber. How fucking disgusting is that?
Because he was helpless against the 20-pound bulldog.
Right.
So anyway, they go inside and he's like, "What are we having for dinner?" And they're like, "Chicken and collard greens."
Collard greens.
Smells good in here. What you cooking?
Chicken.
Chicken and what?
Chicken and collard greens.
I love that part.
Oh, yeah.
So wholesome.
Absolutely. Definitely not at all stereotypical.
Chicken and collard greens.
Chicken and collard greens.
Well, this was 1996.
It was a different time. You know.
This was pre-Obama.
Right.
You guys need to stop. All right, so the aliens, right? So they go to kidnap the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
So they fly a spaceship down into Looney Tune land.
Yeah, which they can somehow just get to.
Which is apparently at the center of the Earth.
You got to pass through
Like-
that WB logo, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You got to pass through the
So
crust.
you got to
of
go
the
at the
Earth,
right angle.
like right into the mantle of
Yeah.
the Earth through a Warner Brothers logo, which
Yeah.
is planted by God knows who,
Yeah.
and you end up in Looney Tunes land.
Presumably the Animaniacs put that there.
Oh, you know what? That's a good one. They escape the water tower on the back
Yeah.
lot. And you're like,
They would have been a good addition to this movie.
oh yeah, it's too bad they weren't in the movie. Pinky and the Brain didn't make any appearances.
Yeah.
Well, we can put them in our fan edit. We can remake the movie and
Alan's fanfic of Space Jam. is
Right.
technically-
we'll edit them in.
It's like the
Couple
fan
scenes.
edit of Phantom Menace that doesn't have Jar Jar on it.
Oh yeah, the Phantom Edit.
Right.
Yeah,
you go.
that's what it's called. So they end up in Looney Tune land and they try to kidnap him, right?
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
basically hold him at gunpoint, if I remember correctly.
They basically just come in and say, "Hey, we want you to be our slaves," and that's it. Like they don't even give them a choice.
Well, yeah, the Looney Tunes are like, no, and they're like, fuck you, and they point guns at him.
Yeah. So they're like, "Oh well, we're screwed."
Man, so I don't understand this whole relationship and like how the Tunes operate in any kind of real world, because they get zapped by these guns, but they still live. But they basically have infinite powers, the Tunes. They can do anything. They can conjure up anything at any given moment.
They can conjure up their own like larger weapons. Or,
Yeah,
blast them
or
with
just
their
put them in a cage, or
cannon.
just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Put them in a cannon and shoot them off into space.
Yeah, or
They
drop
put
an anvil on. Like they can do anything. We see it later on in the second half of the basketball game, which we'll get to. But they can do anything, and they don't.
They
They're
surrender to these like laser guns.
yeah, they surrender, and they decide the only way to get out of this is to challenge them to a contest, Bill and
For-
Ted style.
For rules they just made up because was it Daffy Duck? They have the meeting, and he's like, or Bugs Bunny comes up with the idea.
Yeah.
He like writes it in a book real quick. It says here you have to like give us a chance
Yeah.
to like challenge you at something.
Yeah, so they decide, since the aliens are like little tiny creatures, they challenge them to basketball.
Yeah, because they're like, well, that's the best option. But I love I love the scene when they have the meeting at the town hall because Daffy Duck comes in, but he has like a shower cap and like a scrub, like he just got out of the shower, and it's
Yeah.
like, yo, what do you live next door? Like you couldn't dry off and throw on something? Like he just got out of the shower to walk into town hall. Like, why?
Such a diva, Daffy Duck, you know?
How dare you interrupt his shower? He has to walk, 5 miles down here from the shower.
Well, I don't see that any of them have cars. So, yeah.
So either he walked a long distance out of the shower or he lives right next door, which again is weird.
One of the two.
Yeah, so they challenge him to basketball, and then the aliens have the idea to steal other players' talents
Yeah.
so they can win.
Yeah. So what they do is they go to a Knicks game and disguised as in the typical human disguise of a trench coat and hat, Ninja Turtle style.
How did they get in?
How do they get in?
They got courtside seats,
Yeah,
bro.
they've got courtside
Where's
seats.
security? Don't you have to go through some kind of security?
Yeah, I mean, these 3 alien things in a trench coat and a hat, which are animated, by the way. They're not even physical living things. And they've managed to get courtside seats at Madison Square Garden to see the Suns play the Knicks. How the fuck does this happen?
How does that work?
Right? How the fuck does that work? Like, does it...
They're making Deborah from Everybody Loves Raymond feel very uncomfortable because
Right.
they're squirming around in that trench coat.
And it's her and Dan Castellaneta, who's like a third of the voices on The Simpsons. It's so weird that it was the 2 of them, but okay.
What? She's looking at it again. Close it up, close it up.
Tightly.
Pokes me again.
Sweetheart.
What?
Thought you were gonna get better seats this year.
This is as good as I could get.
This guy next to me is doing something very weird in his raincoat.
Honey, will you just let me watch the game? Barkley's killing us.
Like...
So the aliens have this scheme and they're at front row at the game somehow. And then that's when they decide to steal the player's power. Who do they... Is it Barkley?
It's Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley.
Who
And
do they
other
go
guys.
for first?
They go for
Barkley
Barkley
first.
first.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is the convenient setup. They get the Suns playing the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, so, oh, good, Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing both happen to be in the building at the same time. Like...
And
I don't think Muggsy Bogues was on either of those teams. They must have gone after
No.
him later.
Yeah, I think he may have been playing for Charlotte at that point. I'd have to double check.
That's probably correct.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Another part
yeah.
is when they steal their powers, the aliens turn into like this like vapor and they kind of like possess the players and
Yeah,
like
they
steal
kind
their
of glide onto the
power,
court.
and no one notices that. It's just weird.
No,
Right.
only the camera can see it.
So they steal the players' abilities and they actually show and make a point like they actually can't play. It's
Yeah.
actually kind of funny. I thought that part was slightly amusing when it shows them trying to catch a pass where they like literally can't do anything.
Yeah. They have like absolutely no coordination. They
Yeah.
can't even like walk normally
The most
at one
basic
point.
stuff. They
Yeah.
can't catch a ball. They can't make any passes. They can't shoot. They just.
I mean, it's one thing to be bad at basketball,
Yeah.
but come on, man.
but they lost all their ability to
Yeah.
the alien things. And like I said, it's kind of amusing seeing them try to play and they act like totally clueless.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the scenes are pretty interesting in that regard.
So their powers are stolen by the aliens, so the aliens can beat the Looney Tunes at the basketball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point in one of the next scenes, we get Wayne Knight popping up to just insert some product placement in like a very short scene. It's just Michael Jordan sitting in his hotel room, and Wayne Knight pops his head in and he's like, "Put on your Nikes, eat your Wheaties, get a Big Mac."
Get your Gatorade.
Gatorade
Get your
and Big
Gatorade.
Mac.
It's time to go to a
I made a
baseball game.
specific note of that
Wear
because
your
it's so,
Hanes.
it's so forced. He says Gatorade and Big Mac, where he's like, let's go down to the game and we'll get some Gatorades and a Big Mac.
Like specifically every product Michael Jordan has ever endorsed. Let me get it in this one sentence.
Completely forced.
Come on, Michael, it's game time. Get your Hanes on, lace up your Nikes, grab your Wheaties and your Gatorade, and we'll pick up a Big Mac on the way to the ballpark.
I could just see them like shooting this like after they're done. You know, like they had to shoot this like later on. Like, oh, we need to get in a little bit more product placement. We didn't quite meet the quota, so We're gonna do reshoots. You be in a hotel room, Wayne Knight just pop in and say as many brands as you can in one sentence.
Look, we got to do this. McDonald's is giving us $500,000, so
Right. Get their name in there, all
get
right?
their name in
Yeah,
there.
I'm sure there was a Happy Meal toy.
Right.
So yeah, great product placement by Wayne Knight.
Yeah. So then we're back in Toonland, and the Toons are trying to practice basketball, but they're basically horrible. I don't even know why they challenge the monster or the aliens to basketball, because none of them really know how to play at all.
Right. That's the thing that struck me as strangest. It's like clearly none of them have a clue how to play basketball, even in the slightest. Like, why did you pick this? It was your discretion.
They didn't
to
pick what they were good at. They picked what they thought their
Right.
opponents would be bad at.
Yeah,
which
right.
It's just
I
so
mean,
weird, so backwards.
Right, that could have been anything at that. It's like, how about a rock lifting contest? They're 6 inches tall. Like, you can do that. There's no coordination involved. Like,
Then they would have stole the talent from, I don't know, Stone Cold, who was a popular strong guy in 1996.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, they would have stole the
was that
talent.
1996 when he threw him off a
98, bro.
what do they call that? The
He
rage in the
threw
cage?
mankind off the Hell in the Cell into the Spanish announcer's table.
Undertaker threw mankind off a cage.
Dude, the luchadors, that's a different level. That shit's fantastic.
It's pretty good.
But it is. It's like it's definitely, I think, the most entertaining form of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that. I used to like the storylines of WWE, though, back when
Right.
it was WWF, and I watched it around this time, actually.
The World Wildlife Foundation.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that. I donated every week.
I just want
My
to
allowance as a kid.
pay
To the
due.
WWF.
Yeah.
You got to pay due deference and mention the fact that Hulk Hogan was both the last champion of WWF and the first champion of the WWE.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took him out, man.
Right?
They took him out of the Hall of Fame for saying some things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he's not a great person in real life.
Yeah.
Maybe a true American, but kind of a crappy guy.
I was completely fooled by Hogan Knows Best.
He did win that lawsuit against Gawker for that sex tape.
Oh
And
yeah.
he sued him for like a lot of money, and he actually won. They were wrong, and he won a legit court case against him.
You mess with the Hulkster, brother, you see what happens.
Right, I'm a Hulkamaniac.
In the courtroom.
I'll take you in the courtroom, in the ring.
No, that was a real thing. He actually won that lawsuit against him.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
How
Crazy
did
story
we
if you
get
look
so
into it.
sidetracked? How did this happen?
All right, so back to Space Jam.
Oh yeah. We were talking about Space Jam.
There's a scene that comes up when they're trying to figure out what happened to all the players, because this is when they begin to realize something's wrong, or they're trying to figure out if there's something medically wrong with them, or
Yeah.
there's some kind of illness going around, because
Yeah.
it's weird that, 5 guys all of a sudden have no idea what they're doing.
5 guys suddenly can't walk.
So they show a bunch of reporters and I guess the commissioner, someone in charge, and
David Stern. Yeah.
they're trying to figure out what's going on, and the reporters are all with their microphones like, what's going on, this is crazy. And they show a bunch of guys in hazmat suits because they're trying to figure out what's going on, like, hey, maybe it's some kind of
Yeah, they think there's
illness.
some kind of virus going
Yeah.
around that's affecting NBA players, or some kind of, I don't know, other disease, something
But
like
they
that.
show the hazmat suit guys, and a couple feet away there's all the reporters.
Oh yeah, just wearing regular
Just
suits.
wearing regular suits.
Yeah.
So it's like, what they show them in the hazmat suits to make the appearance like, oh, it's dangerous, but then it's like there's a reporter and the whole group right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people are wearing hazmat suits, and right next to them are reporters. When you're a reporter, you just got to get in there and risk the disease.
I would think they're safe though, because the arenas the teams play in hold 80,000 people. None of the fans got sick.
Yeah.
So clearly, this is one of the most intelligent diseases ever, because it's only capable of attacking particularly talented NBA players. It doesn't even get all of them.
Sabotage.
The third string guys didn't get sick.
Yeah.
It's just Ewing and Barkley and Bogues. It's the good ones.
Yeah.
It is out.
NBA talent-itis.
Right, yeah. So if you're just a journalist or whatever, you're not going to get sick. It's fine. You can't play basketball for shit. Don't worry about it. You're
And
good.
that same scene, all the journalists have gas masks. They show them putting on their masks. And it's like, yo, why would these people have gas masks?
Right, yeah.
Oh no, yeah. There's some of the players put on gas masks.
Oh, the play, yeah. They just
yeah.
have them ready. It's like they all just had gas masks.
Yeah, well, the players put on gas masks before they go into the locker room, and they look old as fuck. They look like
Like World
World War II, fucking
Just in case it's
Tear
a
gas.
chemical based, and in which case we're fine letting you into the locker room. Just wear a mask. Yeah.
These old like World War II ones. Yeah, it's a weird
Right.
scene.
I think they played in those. They didn't show that, but I want to think they did. They just
Gas mask game.
So what I was gonna say back in Toonland is the little alien guys. They go to practice on the court in whatever. I want to say Tiny Toonland, but it's not Tiny Toon. It's Looney Toonland, and they absorb the talent from the NBA players, which they had stored in a basketball.
Yeah, this is where they turn into the Monstars.
Yeah, the
And
Monstars.
they become over 10 feet tall, just huge, ripped. Just
Yeah, well, they become varying
little
sizes.
monsters.
The size seems to fluctuate quite heavily throughout the movie. Because
well,
sometimes they're
everything
well
does.
over the height of a basketball hoop, and sometimes they're lower than it, and they dunk. So
Right.
they jump up to dunk.
So variable size, but they get significantly larger and transform and turn into monsters.
Yeah.
Monstars.
So they go to the court, like, we want to practice now. They absorb the powers, they become monsters, they just wreck the court and walk away. That was their little practice session, I
Yeah,
guess.
I love this scene where he grabs the ball, jumps like 50 feet, comes down and smashes it into the court. And you see the whole court break.
Yeah.
Like the ground shatters. You see the wave go through the whole court, and then, yeah, it's like, oh, we're done.
Yeah.
You just broke the court. You didn't even play.
Yeah, that was practice. I practiced breaking the court.
You're going to practice inducing that fear.
Right.
So you were talking a little bit about the NBA players like getting medical checks, and they start going to like the Sigmund Freud like psychologist who's asking them weird, inappropriate questions. Like I don't know if they're actually inappropriate, but he says like, "Have you been having any problems elsewhere in your life? Any other problems performing? Things like that."
You can't sleep at night.
And it climbed up my back and into my brain.
Are there any other areas besides basketball where you find yourself
Yeah,
unable to perform?
yeah.
No.
I'm just asking.
An obsession, a burning desire.
That was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
That was
There's
kinda funny.
there's little jokes in there every now and then, namely with Bill Murray that are kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny, too.
The stuff I didn't laugh at as a kid, I laughed at now.
Because it makes sense now. You
Yeah.
can pick it up as a kid.
And the stuff I laughed at as a kid is stupid.
Right.
How the tables have turned.
In your defense, kids are usually unilaterally stupid. I'm including myself in that
Yeah.
statement. Yeah.
That's fair.
Right.
So next, speaking of Bill Murray, we get a little bit of Bill Murray and Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. They're all playing golf together, as you do when you're famous, you know.
When
You
you're
just hang out
famous
with
and
other
rich.
celebrities and play golf without a caddy.
Well, where's Wayne Knight? Wait, isn't Wayne Knight his caddy?
Is he?
I
He's
thought
out
he
on
was,
the
I thought he
golf
was
course
there
with
with
them.
them.
Yeah, it's him and Larry and Bill Murray and Stan.
So I think he's there, but he's just there. He's not even doing like a caddy or doing anything.
Right.
Well,
He's just there.
Because
following him.
I don't know that much about golf, but I know that you can either have someone carry your clubs, right, or you can put them in the little cart.
Yeah, you can just put him on the back of the cart.
But I don't remember them having a cart in the movie, so I assume they carried them. But then that made me think they would have a guy to carry them.
No, they had to have carts because at the end of that scene, Bill Murray and Michael Bird
they
leave
just
on
leave
their
him.
cart, and Stan stays. Remember?
Yeah,
Larry Bird. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
and there's a second cart that
You're
would
right.
have
They
been
just
Michael and
They just
Stan's.
peace out.
Yeah, they just said they don't care what happened to Michael Jordan. They just
All right, so
"Oh,
let's talk about
we'll
that.
Figure it out
So they're golfing. Michael Jordan gets a hole in one.
with the help of the Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
because
so they
Bugs
kinda
has a
guided in.
magnet,
They're trying to draw him to the hole.
the magnet that somehow makes the ball go to the hole.
Yeah, it's a metal
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah, how do you control a golf ball with a magnet? Even a cartoon magnet.
From the core of the earth.
From the core of the earth, yeah. I mean, you're under the crust. It's like 12 feet. And you're pulling a magnet along, and somehow the golf ball finds the hole. Whatever.
Let's just take a second to realize we're nitpicking Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Like, I demand Looney Tunes be...
Be more logical.
Yeah, be more logical.
It's the same family of cartoons where a coyote keeps getting an anvil dropped on it. He's fine. You know.
But a magnet cannot move a golf,
Golf ball, damn it.
I can only accept so much.
Right.
That magnet was overboard.
So after Michael Jordan gets his hole in one, they suck him into the golf hole. Remember?
Yeah.
And that's how he gets sucked down to Looney
Like,
Tune Land.
literally, he just, like, compresses and somehow just gets sunk into the hole. And,
How
and
did
Bill
they
Murray
do
and them
that?
see this. They
That's
see this
probably
happen.
one of the funniest scenes in the movie, actually. Not him getting sucked in, but him going in, and then it just shows Bill Murray and Larry Bird and Wayne Knight just standing there watching, and they're just silent. And, like, I don't remember Bill Murray's line, but it was a little funny.
They were going to take a picture, and then after Michael gets sucked in the hole, Bill Murray says, "Don't point that thing at me."
Yeah, that's right.
Where'd you get that camera, man? Don't point that thing at me.
Yeah, I guess it was like, what the fuck just happened?
What kind of camera is that?
Well, don't point it at me. Like, did you just see what happened?
What it is.
So that's pretty funny. So we got a point to Space Jam.
Yeah, by getting pulled.
Someone keeping track of this.
Right.
Is that one?
How many jams is that?
So Bill Murray and Larry Bird see Michael Jordan just get pulled into this hole.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Eventually they leave, and Bill Murray suggests that Michael Jordan did it intentionally to get away from Wayne Knight.
Compressed himself into a golf hole.
Yeah.
It's like logically defying. Like,
you know, if
maneuver.
Wayne Knight's hanging around you long enough, you'll do some amazing shit.
Do some crazy shit to get away from him.
Defy all the laws of nature.
Yeah.
That's what Bill Murray thinks.
So we get Michael Jordan in Looney Tune Land. This is where everything begins.
Yeah, so this is where he's introduced to the Looney Tunes, and they tell him they need him to play basketball for them to beat the Monstars. And right from the beginning, I mean, it's a movie, but Michael Jordan seems very indifferent, or he's not concerned about what just happened.
Yeah, absolutely. He is definitely okay with the fact that he was sucked down a golf hole into Looney Tune Land.
And they're asking him to play basketball.
In the core of the earth.
How much did I drink? What did I do acid this morning?
Right.
What's going on? Where am I? He just accepts it. Like, oh, okay. Like,
oh, here's some Looney Tunes. This makes total sense.
This is what's happening.
Oh, it's just Bugs in the gang.
He never asked how to get out of there. Like, how do I get out of here? Who are you? God, where's my friends?
I would have liked to have think the real Michael Jordan would have said no, and they're like, well, we have a wager against these aliens. And he's like, a wager, you say?
Right.
You know, Michael Jordan's really a big gambler.
Right. It's like, wait, I'm still processing real Looney Tunes. I don't want to get started with the aliens yet. We're going to have to establish one thing at a time here. So,
you're such a big gambler that if you're sucked into Looney Tunes and there's a bet, you'll take it. You're not concerned about anything else that's going on. Like, oh, let's gamble.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
He agrees to help them with their little basketball game to save the Looney Tunes.
He agrees to help them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the Looney Tunes. He probably grew up on them, right?
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
So he starts practicing with the Looney Tunes, and they are horrible. None of them are good at basketball. And we get one Looney Tune that is introed that is, though. And it is the first time you ever see this Looney Tune on screen. Who is it, Alan?
Lola Bunny. And this is a scene. This is a weird scene.
Alan's favorite kind.
No, for the record, I am not a furry, but this is definitely a furry moment. From the second she comes in, she comes busting through. She's like seductive, and the way she moves is like really slow, and she turns out to be really good at basketball, and all the guys are like wowed by her.
Of course.
Steve, talk to me about Lola Bunny, please.
Lola Bunny was just an excuse to give Bugs an extra little thing to do, and she's this sassy female furry character, and
she's good at basketball.
Bugs makes the mistake of immediately referring to her as babe, which she makes especially clear she does not like.
Doll.
Doll is doll.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, don't call me doll.
Who you calling doll? And then she shows him her skills.
The girl's got some skills.
Yes. Don't ever call me doll. Hey, nice playing with you.
Very smooth.
She's obviously nuts about me.
Obviously.
And she actually like dunks on him. She's actually really good, and she has the moves, and everyone's super floored. Like, wow, look, she's good at basketball and she's hot.
Right. So, like, why is she so good at basketball and the rest of them are terrible? Like, I'm not saying they necessarily should be better than her, but like, why is she the only one in Looney Tunes land that knows how to play basketball?
She was the captain of her team, which was just her because she's the only one that knows how to play.
Well, right.
She was her team.
So this is where probably a lot of furries were born when they watched this as kids.
You know what, man? I don't want to jump into conspiracy theory territory here, but How many furries were there in 1996, and how many furries were there 20 years later? That's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Someone do the numbers for me, please.
Robert Zemeckis may be culpable in starting the furry movement. I mean, this is just a rabbit hole, so to speak.
You're talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Oh, yeah, that's a good movie about rabbits.
That's another Zemeckis movie. What were you talking about?
I've lost my train of thought.
He got distracted by Lola Bunny.
Is Robert Zemeckis big in the furry community?
But that's because he produced the movie, right? Or no, it's Ivan Reitman. Excuse me, I said Zemeckis and I meant Reitman.
Yeah.
No, Ivan Reitman, I should say, is then partly culpable for starting because at least Jessica Rabbit was supposed to be human. She's animated, but she's a person.
Which I was really confused by as a kid. I thought since her last name was Rabbit, she was a rabbit too. And I was like, it makes sense that she's married to the rabbit guy. Her ears must be under the hair or something.
Right.
That's what I thought as a kid. As we mentioned, kids are dumb.
Oh, absolutely.
And horny.
And horny. Oh man.
Alan, put it away.
Right. In perpetuity, from the rest of my life from now on, I'm going to associate Space Jam with furries. It's just one more reason never to watch it again.
I know. They go too far with the sexy Lola Bunny stuff.
They do go too far. They make it like purposely. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's a movie aimed at kids. Let's tone it down a little bit.
So yeah, Lola Bunny's good at basketball, and then she makes one score, or she scores the ball once, and then she just leaves.
Yeah.
Right.
She says, nice playing with you guys.
Yeah, nice playing with you guys. I scored once, see ya.
I've come here to do what I needed to do.
Yeah.
Everyone's seen me drop
I'm going to give the audience a minute to adjust to that.
Maybe in reality she was like horrible and it was total luck. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. I better leave. They're going to want me to do it again.
Yeah. Let's just say I won because I have the point.
Right.
So yeah, she bounces pretty fast. After she scores once.
And then Michael Jordan
doesn't actually bounce.
Yeah. Then Michael Jordan and the Tunes, they decide to start practicing, but Michael Jordan is still wearing his like golfing gear, so he can't practice in that. So he has Bugs and Daffy go back to his house to get his like basketball shorts and his shoes and all that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And again, he's not concerned about what's going on. He's so not concerned he sends them to get his stuff. He's like, oh, let me go get my stuff. I know where it is. I can tell my wife where I was. Like, yeah, I just, spent a little extra time golfing.
Well, like, what if he just went? Like, he would have just gotten a plane and, like, gotten the fuck out of Dodge. Like,
right?
Straight to a therapist because he's seeing cartoon characters who want him to play in a monster tournament.
Yeah.
I can't go home for an hour for no reason at all. You two go get my stuff. Like,
yeah, it's weird that he sends them.
Yeah.
And again, he's, like, accepting of this, like, he knows how this works. He's sending cartoon characters to get his stuff.
Yeah, what if they just said, you realize that's fucking impossible, right? We're like, there's no way we could be in the real world. You ever notice you never seen a cartoon character?
No,
but they can, apparently.
And he knows that and sends them to get his stuff.
Yeah.
And doesn't even tell them where it is because they have to go through all his things.
They're just like digging around, like going through drawers, just throwing shit like typical cartoon characters.
He didn't tell him, hey, it's in the closet on the top shelf. He's like, I'll just go get my shit.
He couldn't be bothered.
Ask my wife. Whatever.
I got this big tournament coming up. I don't have time.
Yeah, I'm not with it. We need to establish a scene here where these two animated characters can go toss my house. So I'm just going to do this as unrealistically as possible.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Just tell him to go talk to the wife. Like,
right?
Go to my house, tell my wife. They'll see you and they'll understand.
Right, yeah. I mean, look, he's already risking them being seen. Apparently, there's no big risk here.
You can have some chicken and collard greens with the family.
Chicken and collard greens.
No, right. It's just Bugs and Daffy. Everyone's like, oh, it's just, all right, cool Looney Tunes in the real world.
That's what happens when the kids come in.
Right.
They show the scene where they're going through the stuff, and then the kids kind of hear the commotion, and
they help
peek
them
into the room, and they end up helping them.
Because the dog tries to eat
too. They're like, oh, hey, it's just Bugs Bunny going through my house.
Yeah, they're like, hey, what are you doing here, Bugs? Oh, I'm just here to get some clothes from your dad.
Oh, cool. This is a totally normal thing that totally regularly happens all the time.
Do you
normal
need the combo to his safe?
Right, yeah. Can I show you where Dad keeps the rifle?
Yeah.
Like, now, what would have happened if the kids hadn't rescued them from the dog? Was the dog really going to eat animated characters? Like, how does that work?
Oh, yeah, the ferocious bulldog.
The ferocious 40-pound bulldog.
Yeah.
Like, what was it going to do to the two of them?
They might have licked their faces too hard.
Yeah.
Do you think that animated rabbit is filling? Like, I don't know. Is that really no?
A snack at best.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That would have been a plot twist. He sends him to get his stuff and then end up getting eaten by the dog.
He kills like the most Tim Burton Space Jam.
That would have been a brutal twist.
They come back as members of the Halloween Town cast of characters. I shouldn't
You
talk
know what?
shit about that movie.
1996. Yeah, I could have gone for Tim Burton's Space Jam in 1996. Today,
Right?
hell no.
No.
But in 1996, yeah.
Tim Burton stopped being Tim Burton at some point, like 2003. I don't know why, but
Was that after Planet of the Apes?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that I think it was all downhill from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
What year did Planet of the Apes come out?
2001? 2002?
See, I
Somewhere in
question any year now.
that we come up with.
Yeah.
They think it's probably off by at least 2.
But 2001 does sound right.
Yeah, okay.
Same year as the Fast and the Furious.
It's millennial-ish.
All right, so the Looney Tunes end up getting his gear. They find it with the help of the kids who are accepting and don't question anything they're seeing.
Don't wake up their mother or anything.
Yeah. Just here helping the Looney Tunes in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Then
we get more of the NBA players that lost their talent. A little interesting scene where they're all at a psychic. So all the guys that were affected that lost their talent, they go to a psychic.
Right.
And it's actually a legit psychic. She's like looking at her crystal ball and she's like, let's see. Aliens came down, went into your bodies, stole your talent, and they're going to be playing a basketball game against Bugs Bunny.
I see aliens. Little aliens from outer space. They force their way inside your bodies. They need your talent to win a basketball game against Bugs Bunny. I also see Michael Jordan being sucked down a golf hole by furry creatures.
That's it. We're out of here.
We're leaving.
I give that another point to Space Jam. No, that's a little funny. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, you know?
Right.
yeah, when you mention that, I do like that because she's telling the truth in the movie, but they're like, "Oh, this bitch is crazy."
Yeah, they're like, "Well, what a waste of fucking money.
Yeah,
All
are
these
you kidding?
psychics are charlatans."
Telling me about aliens stealing my power, but
Come
that's
on, lady.
What happened.
There was a Looney Tune in Michael Jordan's living room this morning, but I'm not going to believe any of the rest of this stuff.
She should have just been like, "All right, you got a virus. I knew it."
Right? Yeah, you get this like paramecium in your brain. It's eating your stuff. But don't worry about it. It's
What's a
gonna get worse.
paramecium brain?
I'll tell you what a paramecium is. That's a paramecium. It's a one-cell critter with no brain that can't fly. Don't mess with me, man. I'm a lawyer.
Am I gonna have to insert that hook clip right here?
Absolutely. God. Oh God, it's too much.
Don't mess with me, man. I'm a lawyer.
Right.
Alan has no idea.
I have no idea.
You'll know
Oh,
soon because we're gonna do
God.
that movie.
I like that movie.
I love that movie.
Right?
Remember how you were talking earlier? I don't remember if it was on or off air, but about how when you're a kid you watch a movie and you just love it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Oh God, is Hook really one of those?
It is for me. Like, I can see a little bit how other people don't like it, but I can't see past it myself. Like, I can't see past the flaws in Hook.
I mean, look, Rufio's obnoxious.
I love Rufio.
Yeah, but still, that's the thing. I love him anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he was in like 3 other movies and he disappeared. I don't know what happened to Rufio. Where are you?
Dante Bosco?
Yeah. There you go.
I'll talk to you a little bit off the air about Dante Bosco.
Oh my God! All right. Otherwise, it's gonna be.
He's fine and he's a great guy and I love him. So no. I'll tell you more later.
Dante.
Anyway.
All right. Yeah, we got way off topic. There's a whole nother movie. We're talking about Space Jam. Let's get through Space Jam.
So at the beginning of Hook,
I think right. I think it's taking us longer to walk through Space Jam than the movie actually was.
We just get through
Like
3/4 of Space Jam and transfer it up.
Right. What is this? Is going to be like a 98-minute podcast about a 72-minute movie.
I'm just going to change the label to Space Jam commentary.
We also deviate into like 4 other films, but it's fine.
All right, let's cut to the chase. Wayne Knight makes his way into Looney Tune land somehow.
After like digging up the golf course that nobody seemed to care or notice.
Well, one guy cared. One guy was trying to fucking play golf, and he's like, "Bro, what are you doing with this shovel in the golf course?" And he's like, What does he say? I'm fixing
I don't even
something.
remember what his excuse is.
It's some golfing term. He's like, I'm fixing a divot.
Oh yeah, he's fixing a divot.
By digging a hole in the ground.
Yeah. So the ball, if the ball hits the green where the tee is, where the hole is very soft. So if the ball comes in and hits, it'll leave a little like a notch, a divot in the grass. And the golfer etiquette is that you're supposed to use this little prong tool to pop it so that the divot comes back out, so that it doesn't mess with people's putts.
Oh, I get the joke now.
Right? And but that's the thing. If you don't know, if you're not thinking about like divots and fixing them and golf etiquette, like it's like, what are you talking about?
Wayne Knight ends up digging like a 10-foot hole. It's crazy.
And the only person that notices is this one other dude that's on the golf course. He's like, oh, all right. Like, this place just got managed. It's a private country club. It's a private gated country club that people like Michael Jordan belong to.
Where's the Bill Murray Caddyshack character?
Yeah.
That guy didn't call security. Hey, this guy's digging up the golf course.
There's no security. There's no groundskeeper. There's no management. There's no drink person. Like, none of the other players goes back to the clubhouse and like, yo, there's a dude digging an 8-foot deep hole on the green for hole 7. Yeah, somebody might want to go look. Maybe. Whatever. Like...
But maybe call the cops too.
Right? I think this guy might be insane.
He's just using pure Wayne Knight strength to just dig with his shovel.
Yeah, also,
just with a spade. Just boom. Going.
Where'd the shovel come from? That didn't even occur to me till just now.
You just
That's a little.
I'm
thinking about this. Where the fuck did he find the shovel? He must have gone to the groundskeeper's hut and taken it, and they still didn't notice.
Now he's stolen a shovel in his search for Michael Jordan. He's digging up the golf course.
All right. So,
okay. Yeah.
All right. I just want to clarify one thing. So my note says Wayne Knight makes his way into Looney Tunes land. We just talked for 5 minutes about that. So, yeah.
He goes through the same, doesn't he go through the same, WB, Center of the Earth logo?
He must have had to, but you don't actually see that part. He goes from being in the hole to being on the basketball court in Looney Tunes
land. He just kind of shows up.
Yeah, there's no intermediary.
He's just there, and Michael Jordan's pissed.
We can get to it when we get to it, but there's one line at the end of the movie to a completely different character that sort of addresses the "how did you get here" thing, but it's no explanation. Okay, yeah.
Other than he kind of just figured it out. He just dug a hole until he got there.
Right? Yeah, it's got a 250-foot deep hole or more to the center of the earth. Whatever.
To get to Looney Tunes land.
Yeah,
to save.
It's
Michael
like
Jordan.
in a different time zone kind of thing, like Interstellar. Like he's like, I've been digging for 6 months. For Michael Jordan, it's been 5 hours.
He's been declared missing. His family is grieving.
Yeah,
right. About to have a funeral. No one knows where he went. He just kind of disappeared. Bill Murray's accused. He's on trial.
Yeah,
you murdered Michael.
He was last seen with you.
Yeah, and he's just gone now. What did you do with him?
What must his wife think at this point? He went out to play golf. His kids are telling her stories about how they found Looney Tunes in the house looking for his things.
The place has been ransacked.
Right? The dog's all messed up. If you were married,
the dog's dead.
Right? She must have called the cops, and she's got to be like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. My kids think they saw Looney Tunes. My husband is missing.
My house is ransacked. Right? He's probably endangered."
From what I pieced together, a guy in a Bugs Bunny costume broke in and kidnapped him,
drugged my kids, and left. Yeah.
And my husband's missing. That's way too much shit to handle.
All right, so real quick, Wayne Knight wants to play with them. He wants to be on their team.
Right.
And Michael Jordan's like, I don't know, you're kind of Wayne Knight-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best for a basketball game.
He's shaped like an ostrich egg.
Wayne Knight says a really weird line. It's delivered in such an odd way. He says, I may not be very fast, but I'm slow, or something like that. I'll try to put it in here. But it's pretty good.
Let me help. I can help. Let me help. What can you do? Well, I may not be very tall, but I'm slow.
Okay.
Anyway, it goes to the big game. This is the final act of the movie. This is what it's all been building up toward, the big basketball game.
If they lose the game, they'll be enslaved forever at Moron Mountain.
Yep.
So they have to win or the Looney Tunes are doomed.
Exactly.
Yeah. What
do you think of the big game, Steve?
The big game, at this point, you can really tell that they rushed us to the big game. It's not much of a big game, really. It's just mostly what was it, 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long, and the monsters mostly just smashing up the rest of them. Although, oh man, we didn't even address. I'm taking like 10 steps backwards here. I'm sorry.
Are we going to talk about a different movie?
Well, no, I'm going to keep it within the realm of the same movie.
Have you ever seen Congo?
That gorilla was really smart.
Amy want raindrop drink.
Amy want raindrop drink.
Did
sign language, bro.
Absolutely. I can't think of a better idea than giving an ape booze. It just sounds like...
Do you remember that laser? Right. Oh, all right. Let's get back on. No one's going to listen to this shit.
You made me do it for real, Corey.
That was a joke, and you actually did it.
Completely derailed.
Sharpen up, man.
Right. But I was going to address the fact that the aliens at one point turned Michael Jordan into a basketball.
Yeah.
We never talked about it.
That was one of the poorer effects in the film.
It really was terrible, and they box him up, and it's weird that when he's in Looney Tunes land, the rules apply that way to him. They can just turn him into a square-shaped basketball and play with him, and then he goes back to being normal.
Right.
That sweet effect that took like 7 months of computer animators, probably.
Right. I don't know what. See, we got onto Congo. I don't know why I was even thinking about that. But, anyway, we're at the climactic game.
Okay, yeah. So back to the game.
Yeah, by the time we get to the game, we feel like it's just there's been no real story development here at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty quick. I think they wanted to keep this movie nice and short.
Yeah.
I mean, how much could you really get from it anyways? It's probably better that it was shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how much can you get footage of Charles Barkley playing basketball one-on-one with some girl who's like blocking his shots and stuff? I mean, you can only do it for so long.
Kids' movies used to be stuff like The Muppets Take Manhattan. And by the time the late 90s came around, it was just Space Jam.
Yeah. After Space Jam, every movie that was released was Space Jam. Right. It was so weird. It's just every movie was Space Jam.
Right.
And there was never a different movie.
All of them.
In the beginning of the tournament at the end, the big game, the Monstars are off to a good start, and they start just completely destroying them.
Yeah.
There's like 20
literally, man.
cuts of the guys just jumping, feet into the air. Jumping high into the air and then just dunking the ball. So it just shows the Monstars just
and they literally just are beating the shit out of the Looney Tunes. Like, they're just backhanding them, smashing them on the ground. Like, they're just kicking the shit out of them. And the fucking ref isn't calling shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said. I was like, wait, so there's just no rules. Like, he clearly fouled him. And it starts off kind of tame. Like, he punched him, which isn't really that tame, but like, he kicked him and hit him. But then it turns into like full on, they have guns, they have like rockets.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny has a scooter
Yeah,
at
dude,
one
fucking
point.
Yosemite Sam is holding a piece on the court. Like, he just has his revolver. Like, he shoots out someone's teeth with it. Like,
Bugs Bunny has a scooter at one point. And then it just slowly devolves into just all out, just no rules. They're playing basketball, but can do whatever else they want.
I'm pretty sure Marvin was biased. So here's the thing. Marvin the Martian is the ref because he's an alien and he's a Looney Tune. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I saw a meme of that, so it has to be true.
You just blew my mind.
Yeah. So that's why he's reffing. There's no free throws thrown in this whole game.
Oh, no.
Because there's no fouls. You can do whatever you want.
The owner of Moron Mountain is there.
Yeah, Danny DeVito.
Danny
Space
DeVito. Space DeVito. And he pulls them aside at halftime and applauds how much they're winning by and their abusive gaming behavior.
Yeah.
It's the boss.
Hello, Mr. Swaghammer. All right. Not bad for the first half, but we got to keep this up.
Hey, no problem. We stole
We
the
stole talent, boss, from the best players in the NBA. Charles Barkley, Russell, and it was little grandmama. Was it Larry Johnson?
Shut up! I smell something.
Shit sandwich.
But now this leads me to another thought: is why? I mean, I guess at this point he sees that his cronies have stolen the talent from these big NBA players. But why did he allow this to happen in the first place? He sent the three of them to just kidnap Looney Tunes and told them specifically to just take them and bring them back. And he's just letting them play this basketball game, and his possession of the Looney Tunes is on the line. It's like
because it's in the rules. Like he's like, oh, that's how it works.
What rules? Like he's the three little ones. Or four of them that he sends to do this are idiots. But he's not an idiot. He knows there's no rule book that says you have to give them a fair shot.
Yeah, hey, idiots! They made up that rule. Just go kidnap them.
Yeah, just shackle them and take them. Like, why are we doing this basketball bit? I sent you out here like a week ago.
And now you're playing basketball?
Right, you've been back to earth. You're fucking with NBA players who've stolen their talent. Now we're doing this? No. Just bring them back. Now, I could have been making money on them already.
Yeah, I swear you guys had laser. Didn't I give you laser guns?
Yeah, I gave you guns.
And you're playing basketball.
It's great that you're winning by 84 points, but this is pointless. Just take them.
So the Monstars are off to like a crazy good start, and then in the middle there, Bugs Bunny comes up with a plan to give them the secret stuff, which is just water.
Yeah, at halftime.
Yeah,
because they're all demoralized. They're losing, and yeah, that's when he wants to do that. He says, "Oh, this is Michael Jordan's secret stuff. This is what makes him really good at basketball."
And Michael Jordan plays along, and it actually kind of works because they all start doing really well.
Didn't you forget something?
What?
Your secret stuff. Wow. Whoa. Nice deltoid. Play along. Hey, stop hogging it, Mike. We're your teammates. Secret stuff. Secret stuff?
You wouldn't hold out on us, would you?
At one point, Tweety starts beating up all the Monstars.
Yeah. Turns out he could kick the shit out of them the whole time.
Right.
The whole time, yeah.
Begs the question, why does he keep letting Sylvester put him in his mouth?
Yeah.
When he could beat up 5
Just kick the
monsters.
shit out of them.
Just
Right.
beats the shit out of them.
I think you punch that cat in the nose hard enough once, it would stop trying to eat you.
He did that to one of the Monstars. He like kicks them and punches them and full on karate. Just
By the way, I am not advocating for real life animal violence. I'm just talking about between Tweety and Sylvester. That's the limit.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
Right.
Our listeners may have been confused.
If somebody's gonna, this guy's talking about punching cats in the face.
Well, I am.
Okay, Alan is. Alan's the one advocating.
Alan's got a score to settle with that cat
Yes,
that bit him that he
cats,
talked about
dude.
in the Leprechaun episode.
Oh my god, my cat meows all the time. Hey, I
have a
let you
cat?
out. It meows to come in. Yeah, I have a cat, and it's.
What's his name?
I just call it Kitty. I don't even have a name. I just call it Kitty or a cat.
You have a cat, you don't have a name.
No, don't. But it's annoying. It meows to come inside. I let it out, and then it meows to come in, and it's an endless loop. It just meows. I give it food. I give it water. It might chill for a little bit, but then it's just meowing. Hey, let me out. Let me in. Let me out. It's the worst thing ever. So I am not a big fan of my cat.
Alan hates cats.
No, I do like cats.
Cat lovers everywhere.
Back to Space
Comment
Jam.
on this.
Right, to change the topic as quickly as possible.
I know.
Right. Let's get back to Space Jam,
There's
guys.
no way we can tiptoe around not offending everyone. We just fucking cat, shut the fuck up.
That's, I'm aiming for that specifically. So.
So they start doing better in halftime because they think they have the secret stuff, and everyone does better. Which again begs the question why they couldn't just do this the whole time.
Yeah,
they're Looney Tunes. Like they had to be tricked with this placebo to use their full powers.
Yeah, they can do anything. They can conjure up anything they want. Guns, cars. They can like stretch. They can become bigger. They can do anything. Like why not? I don't know.
Why not just do whatever you need to do to win?
Yeah, just win. Like conjure up a fucking win, you piece of shit.
But they can't do that unless they're tricked by a placebo.
Yeah.
And then after that, they just start losing again. So that's only like very briefly do they like learn to use their powers.
Yep. And then they change the bet a little bit with Danny DeVito. They up the ante on the bet. Michael Jordan says, all right, how about this? If we win, you give the talent back to the players. If you win, I'll go with you too to Moron Mountain.
Yeah.
What did he expect to happen? Like, what if they lost? Would he actually go back?
Right.
Would he just be like, okay, can I go home now?
No,
Fuck
he
you.
would just go live on another planet that has oxygen and Earth's gravity.
You're a fucking cartoon.
And
but if
play
they
basketball against amusement park guests.
If he lost, he could just be like, well, you're a cartoon. Like, I'm going to go home. Screw you.
Fuck you. You're a cartoon. I'm a grown man.
Yeah, I'm going to go home now. Like, I'm done tripping balls. Like, I think the acid might be wearing off.
Right?
Like, is he really going to go with them if they lose?
Give me that possessed basketball. I'm leaving.
But they make it like, oh my god, if he loses, he's going to go to Moron Mountain. And it's all at stake
like,
here.
Did the animated laser guns even work on Michael Jordan? I might be willing to risk that.
Well, they can roll him just up into a ball and just put him in
that's
a
true.
bag. Just put him in a sack.
Right? Yes, we can't really fight back. Well, that's why, really.
But then I guess when they start leaving Looney Tunes land, like, the ball of Michael Jordan will just, like, become like a human ball of, like, broken flesh and bones. Because it'll no longer have the properties of the Looney Tune world, which makes him rubbery.
God,
It'll just be like this disgusting heap of like flesh and bones.
It's the Human Cube. God, it's like the third sequel to Human Centipede.
Oh man, that movie was off the fucking rails.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Human Centipede 2, I thought was really funny.
The fact that there was a sequel, like my God.
Right. Well, God, how many Sharknadoes have they? See, we're doing it again. Damn it! Now
There was 6 Sharknadoes.
Damn it! This is how bad this movie is. We got through Leprechaun without deviating this many times.
Leprechaun is better than Space Jam.
It is.
Space Jam just sends everyone in all directions. We just don't know what to do.
You know what? I always have said that if you start thinking about other movies while you're watching a movie, it's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't even talk about this movie.
We're getting there. We're in the final game.
Yeah, we're almost at the, I swear to God, whoever's listening, we're almost at the end of the movie.
We're in the end game now.
Way worse to watch it, I swear.
All right. So, long story short, they win. The good guys, that is, of course.
There's a big scene at the end where Michael Jordan makes the final dunk. He like reaches for the basket and his arms start stretching.
Yep.
Which is awkward and looks weird.
It does look weird. His arm grows like 12 feet.
And
oh, you know what? And there's Bill Murray. Bill Murray.
Oh, Bill Murray shows up.
All right.
I think he passes to Bill Murray like once.
Yeah. Bill Murray.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say Bill Murray has like an assist in the final score. Go ahead.
This is another commercial bit because there was a separate series of commercials with Bill Murray. I can't even remember what they were for, but 2, 3, 4 years before the movie came out, where he was trying to be, quote unquote, trying to be a basketball player for the sake of comedic effect, and they decided to throw him in the movie partly because of that, and partly because he really was friendly with Ivan Reitman. And there's even a joke. This is where they get to the joke. I can't remember, Bugs or one of Daffy, one of the animated characters, asks him, "How did you get here?" And his response is, "I'm friends with the producer."
Yeah.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yo, easy on the trousers, Daff. Easy, man.
Pardon me. Mr. Murray, something's really been bugging me.
Yeah?
Just how did you get here, anyway?
Producer's a friend of mine. Just had a teamster come and drop me off, you know.
Uh-huh. Well, that's how it goes.
Yeah, he actually was.
Yeah,
he actually was.
Well, yeah, the producer did Ghostbusters.
Right. I mean, did I say? I said Reitman.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you got it right.
Right.
Now that
you got
begs
it
the
right,
question.
man.
Did Bill Murray do it as a favor to him, or was it a favor to Bill Murray?
I think that he liked the idea of being in it, but yet it was both a nod to the commercials that he'd been in and the fact that he really was his friends with Reitman, and he wears a baseball cap in the film that has the logo of a minor league baseball team he was a part owner of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So before they win, Bill Murray shows up and he explains he's friends with the producer, but
Right.
otherwise has no other explanation how he got there. He just kind of figured it out too.
As a kid, I remember thinking that was supposed to be funny, but I didn't get it.
Right.
And it's not that what he says is funny. It's just that like Bill Murray's delivery is just kind of funny. Like he's just kind of a funny guy. Like
He has that like deadpan.
Yeah.
My
serious.
second to last note about this film is Bill Murray is the best part of this movie.
Oh, for
So-
sure. As a kid, I definitely did not think that, but now for sure, 100%.
Absolutely.
So they win the tournament.
Yeah.
And
Or the single game.
the single game. And
Sorry.
Space DeVito's not happy.
Make a scene. Oh, no, I'm not going to make a scene. I was just told, excuse me, that my horrible whore wife has tricked me into raising 2 bastards for 30 years, and I'm being asked to not make a scene.
And then that's when Michael Jordan tells all the little aliens, he's like, hey, you guys are bigger than him now. Why do you listen to him? And then they put him in the rocket and shoot him off into space.
Yeah.
And it takes the whole game and all this for them to realize that. Or Michael Jordan couldn't have told them that like a while ago.
Right.
They have to play the game and then he tells them like, yo, you could just not listen to this guy.
Yeah. Just don't listen to this guy, Frank Reynolds.
This guy's a total scumbag.
You know, he plays Nightcrawlers with Charlie, right?
Right. Charlie's high-class people. He's an expert in bird law.
Yeah.
All right, so...
He's white trash, okay? It's a shanty town.
and now we're on television.
Oh my God, this never ends. We gotta
got
get through
all the
this.
way to the end, and we're still deviating. God.
All right, focus. We're in the end game now.
My last note about this movie is the fact that it's got a 38% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is generous, and which is why we can't keep talking about it consistently.
Now wait, before we finish, there's a couple more scenes. One in particular.
Okay, go ahead.
Which I thought was crazy. Is they win the tournament. The aliens send Space DeVito off, and they realize they don't need him anymore. And then they go home. When they go home, they show up to the baseball game, and they show up in a spaceship.
That's right. They show up in a
baseball game. They like land on the field.
An animated spaceship.
An animated spaceship, and then the thing comes down. It's like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You know,
yeah.
The door comes down.
Except the music is R. Kelly.
I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Michael Jordan.
I believe I can soar.
I didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just land in the middle of the field in an animated spaceship, and out comes Michael Jordan and what's his name, Wayne Knight, and they return
and they applause.
And and the crowd applauses like, no, there's a spaceship that landed on the middle of the field.
Well, they're just happy to see Wayne Knight, you know?
And they were just happy. Like, no one says anything. No one's freaking the fuck out that a spaceship landed on the middle of the baseball field.
His wife's like, oh, there he is. That's cool.
There's Michael.
Right.
He's back.
Spaceship. That explains everything.
It was a really awkward scene that they landed this animated spaceship, and that's how they brought Michael Jordan back.
I know.
And everyone just was happy and didn't care there was a spaceship there.
Right, it's like he just finished playing this aggressive basketball game against aliens. They want him to play 9 innings worth of baseball now.
He's not getting any game time. Come on.
Yeah, right, just leave him on the bench.
Yeah.
Whatever, he's taking a nap.
So after he shows back up, they deliver the talent back to the affected NBA players, who fortunately are all together in the same gym.
Clearly.
Yeah. They show up, they give him the basketball, and one of them says, oh, it's like Star Trek, because the basketball is glowing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Weird
Wait,
line.
are they in a gym, or is that the scene where they're in the church?
I think they give him the talent back in the gym, because they start shooting hoops
they're
right
in the
away.
gym.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, he makes that reference to Star Trek, which I don't know if it's like a real reference. Is there an episode where they have
Well, it's like Star Wars. It's like the end of the Phantom Menace. Remember where the Gungan guy is holding up the ball at the very end?
Oh, yeah,
The shiny ball thing?
Right. The only problem is that the Phantom Menace came out like 4 years after
Space Jam
did, but it's, premeditated.
Yeah. It's like Star Trek. It's like a glowing ball. It's like...
Yeah, so they all touch it and get their powers back, and then it shows them like doing a couple moves, like, yeah, we got our powers back, and everything's back to normal.
Their powers.
Right. I can fly again.
Yeah, one of them has claws. One of them can shoot beams out of his eyes. One of them's just like a beast man.
Larry Bird as Cyclops just seems really funny to me. Bugsy's got to be Wolverine because he's short, you know. So
Charles Barkley is Colossus.
Colossus.
Because they touched his glowing basketball.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
so they get
God.
their powers back and they form the X-Basketball Men and they fight the Harlem Globetrotters.
They're not quite the X-Men. They might be X-Factor. You know.
Yeah. They're Alpha Flight. There's some shitty knockoff.
Ooh, Alpha Flight.
X-Force, they could be on Deadpool.
Yeah.
Right. Gen 13, you're going to last 6 issues.
So, yeah, they get their talents back. Yeah. And they start shooting hoops and they tell Michael Jordan, why don't you play basketball with us, man? And then they make a couple jokes at his expense. Oh, he doesn't play basketball anymore. He looks at him like, you motherfuckers have no idea. And then he goes back in.
Yep.
I don't remember. When he comes back to the Bulls in the movie, does he have the number 45 or 23? Do you guys remember?
I don't remember that.
You know, I think they may have put a 23 jersey on him for the sake of the movie. And yeah, I'd forgotten about that, but 23 was retired. He couldn't play with it anymore. So yeah, I think the last shot of the movie hasn't been a 23 jersey though.
Interestingly, he came back with 45 and then did change it to 23. And the team got fined for it because he changed it like in the middle of the playoffs or
But
something.
I thought the reason he hadn't started with it is because the NBA had retired the number and he couldn't use it anymore.
I don't know if that's the case. I know that 45 was his baseball number, and he carried it over into the NBA.
Right. And then LeBron plays with 23. It's just like, can we maybe just let Jordan have that one? Maybe
Speaking of LeBron, he's going to be in the Space Jam sequel.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
The sequel. That's probably going to come out, this year or soon, right?
Probably 2020.
2020. Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to date ourselves.
Yeah.
For all we know, someone will be listening to this, and Space Jam 5 will already be out.
Featuring Jaden Smith.
Yeah. Alan's favorite actor.
If Jaden Smith starts getting work on because of you, I'm going to be so angry.
Have you guys ever seen After Earth?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Unfortunately, I sat through it once on HBO, and I regretted it immediately afterward. Actually, I regretted it all the way through it. What am I talking about? I did not take till the end to start regretting it.
All right, so Space Jam. That was a pretty wild movie. That just made no sense, and a lot of unexplained things. We got Bill Murray, Wayne Knight.
Well, you know what? I did not enjoy rewatching Space Jam at all. I really didn't.
Not even a little.
But I am enjoying talking about it right now.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good.
I think the upside to having to sit through it again was being able to talk about it, at least in chunks while we weren't talking about something else.
I think my view is probably a little different because, like I said, I remember seeing parts of it and maybe the whole thing, but I basically saw it for the first time when we watched it. And I didn't like it, but it wasn't bad. I guess it was, especially for 1996?
Well, on whatever rating scale you want, what are you going to give it?
Out of 5 stars, 3, 2.5. 2.5, 3.
2.5 or 3?
Yeah.
You got to pick one, and you got to stick with it for the rest of your life. It can never change.
2.5.
2.5 forever locked in.
Ooh.
2.5 out of 5.
I think, okay, we talked about this for one of the previous episodes, this concept, and be real quick about this, but I think the whole, take it within the context of 1996 doesn't apply in this situation, because there were good movies coming out in 1996. It's not like 96 was devoid of good film, you know what I mean? It's like it's okay, guys. It was a year or two after Jurassic Park. There was no context for what a good movie was like, you know. I think the truth is it was always a bad movie. It's just that it was aimed at kids.
Oh, way to blast my argument, dude! It just roasted me. I have nothing to say now. Fuck. Can I change my score? I give it a 1.
Right? I mean, honestly, that's I'm going to give it a 1 on the basis of the fact that it's a movie. No, you know what? But you know what? I think I take it back. I'm going to give it a 1.5 because Bill Murray's worth a half a star. So that is my permanent rating for Space Jam.
That's a very generous half star. It's only because it's Bill Murray.
Right? Bill Murray is worth half a star.
Because anyone else would be 1.
Right? Even Wayne Knight isn't worth a whole half a star.
Shit, he might have dragged it down a little.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Space Jam is a 1.5, and the 38% rating on Rotten Tomatoes is too good for it.
Well, Steve just roasted me, but...
Savage,
yeah.
I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. 1996 had good movies.
Don't be swayed by him.
What was a good movie in 1996?
Well, I fortunately have just pulled up a list.
Oh, you were looking
So
at it.
there were no good movies in 1996. Don't worry, Alan. We just got Train Spotting, Independence Day, The People vs. Larry Flint, The First Mission Impossible, Sling Blade, Jerry Maguire, Scream, James and the Giant Peach.
Oh my God.
Yeah, nothing.
Fargo.
Star Trek First Contact.
70% of those were nominated for Academy Awards.
Nothing of note. I wouldn't worry about Alan.
And the one Mission Impossible movie that was actually good. So.
The Rock.
Right, The Rock. Hell, even The Rock's a substantially better movie.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Right. Yeah, I mean, The Rock by himself standing in front of a camera for 90 minutes is a better movie than this.
Wow, I guess I'm very generous.
Well, I'm generous too, I guess, because it's bad and it's hard to watch now, but I liked it as a kid. I could see how other kids would like it.
Yeah.
There's a couple jokes that land. I'm going to go with a 10-point IMDb style rating system, and I'll give it a A 2.8. I could see movies worse for sure, but this is probably the shittiest one we've done together so far.
I mean, it's marginally less bad than Pluto Nash. I'll give it that.
Spider-Man 3 was better.
I'm surprised you put this. You guys put this lower than Leprechaun.
Yeah, Leprechaun's a good time.
Pretty
man.
ridiculous,
right? Yeah, I mean, at least Leprechaun is sort of weirdly entertaining.
Yeah,
this wasn't even that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, look, the context of someone in their 30s, blah blah blah. If you'd asked me like 20 minutes after I'd walked out of the movie theater, I probably would have said, yeah, that was fun. But I was 13 years old.
Well, that's the whole point of the second one, right? It's going to be like the new generation, or it's LeBron and
it's ain't your granddaddy Space Jam.
Yes. I believe this movie was the debut of what at the time was the newest version of the Jordan shoe as well. So I guess that makes it sort of significant.
Oh gosh.
Let's think about it's going to be. What you said, 2019, 2020. How much product placement is going to be in the new Space Jam? It's going to be 20 times worse.
It's
probably
all those gigantic LCD screens on Figueroa and downtown LA are just going to have, because they're already slathered with LeBron ads. It's just going to be all Space Jam too.
Yeah, we were downtown last weekend, and every billboard and every like digital sign had LeBron on it, and it was just everything was LeBron.
I don't think Jesus Christ would get that much publicity.
It's like that for any city he plays for.
Right?
Yeah. We're going to base our economy off one basketball player.
Yeah, like that video.
When he was in Cleveland, he mentions that. He's like, our economy is based on LeBron James.
That's right. Well, what the hell does anyone go to Cleveland for otherwise? And I say that as someone who has family from Cleveland, so don't get mad at me. I earned it.
So defensive. You've been on the internet before, haven't you? Your first go around.
All right,
we've rated it. We've talked about it. Any final thoughts from you guys? Anything you want to say?
I genuinely hope I don't have to sit through that movie ever again.
This movie makes me not want to see the second one. I'll say that. Like I actually don't. I never wanted to, but after seeing
now
this,
that we've done a podcast on it, we're gonna have to see it and talk about it.
We are. Well, we have so many other movies we can get through.
Yeah,
that's low on the list.
Film.
Do we know who's directing the new one, or like who's producing?
I don't know.
Because that's a big factor.
Hopefully, they bring back Ivan Reitman. He brings back Bill Murray.
I really do hope.
I mean, there's a chance that could possibly happen. I bet you they'll bring back.
It'd be good for it.
I bet you they'll bring back
style.
Yeah. Or Alan's favorite director, James Cameron.
Cameron.
Would you go see it opening night if it was a James Cameron movie?
Space Jam 2 by James Cameron.
You know what? Out of pure curiosity, I think I'd be obligated. I mean,
yeah, I would have to.
Who doesn't want to see how that would turn out?
Can't even imagine.
Right? Like, can you imagine what kind of Space Jam Kubrick would have made? What an interesting film.
Wow.
Right.
Michael Bay's Space Jam?
No.
Ridley Scott's present. No.
In the bin.
Michael Bay, no.
All right, enough directors of Space Jam.
All right, Space Jam was awful. We all hated it, I guess.
Let's close it up, guys. So anyone that listened, thank you for listening. We have an email address, so if you want to send us a suggestion or just an email or a complaint about anything Alan said, feel free to email us at bigdumbmovie@gmail.com. I may or may not read it and reply or read it on the air. So send us an email there if you have something you want to say. Especially if it's something about what Alan said,
that was so offensive,
or something Steve said.
You may have invited quite a few letters about some of the things I've just said, but it's fine.
Or even something I've said. All right, guys, everyone that listened, thanks for sitting through this.
Thank you.
Good night, or whatever it is right now. Bye.
Bye.
Chicken and collard greens.